Yes, I greet you all. This is Isofix in Tech, and today I've come with a small video that shows how to create folders and files using Git Bash. Git Bash is commonly used by programmers to create files and maybe folders in most cases when they're going to start their code. The first step of creating a folder, we shall first try to find where we are going to create the folder in. And to me, let's say I'm going to create a folder in local disk D. So under local disk D, let's say we're going to create here a folder called Python files. To start, you shall open Git Bash. Git Bash, you can get it by downloading it. You can look for it on Google just by typing download Git Bash. So we shall open our Git Bash. Then after that, the code that we're going to use when it opens, we are going to direct, because since we are going to create a folder in local disk D, it means that we are going to direct Git Bash into local disk D. Your computer might be having different kinds of assignment later. Like now, me, I see there is D, local disk D colon, there is C. I want to create in local disk D. However, you might find that yours doesn't have D, but it has F, E, or any other letter assigned. So to create a folder here, we shall click on our Git Bash and we shall click CD space D colon. CD stands for change directory to D. So it means we are changing to go to D. Then when you hit enter, Git Bash will command us to go into D. So per now we have not created anything. As you can see, we have not created any file, any folder here, but we just directed to go to D. As you can see, it has now created something like D. It shows that we are now in D. To list the number of folders in D, there is a small command called ls. ls commands Git Bash to list all the files or the folders which are in local disk D. Now when I click and hit enter, it will list all the folders that are in local disk D. But that's not the reason as for the video. The video was to create a folder. So since we are in D, we wanted to create a folder. Let's say we shall call it Python files folder, not so. Since we are already in D, the formula for creating a folder is mkdir space, then under double quotations we shall put Python file folder. Okay, let's say Python file folder. Make directory. mkdir stands for make directory. We are creating a folder called Python file folder. Then after that, when we hit enter, it should create a folder, and you can see a folder called Python file folder. As you can see around here on our right hand side, a folder has been created. So in case we want to create a file now inside the folder, we have to open Python file folder again. Now to open, we shall use the same command as we started. CD, we are changing directory to open quotes Python file folder. So in case we make a mistake, it will not link it to that. So change directory to Python file folder. Then when you hit enter, it means, sorry, let's check and see. CD Python file folder. Is there any mistake I wrote in maybe the spelling? Yeah, the mistake that we were doing is that we are using capital letters. So it was CD, then Python file folder, but the CD should be in lowercase. That's why we see when you try to put the uppercase, it was making that error. So currently, right now, we have entered into a folder called Python file folder. Now you'll find that inside there is no file inside. So even if you try to check by using ls command, still you'll find that there is nothing in Python file folder. So to create a file inside using Git Bash, we use a formula called torch, then space, then the title of the file. Let's say we are calling it let's say student.py. Student.py means it's a Python file. So when you say touch student.py, it means that it's going to create a Python file called student.py under a folder called Python file folder. So when we hit enter like this, you see there is a file created called student. It doesn't have the extension called py because the extension is hidden, but it means it's a Python file folder. So in case you want to link your file now into Visual Studio Code to start your coding process, you just go and type cod, or you can say code space dot. Then when you hit enter, automatically it will open the student Python file into Visual Studio Code. It takes time to load, however, eventually it opens because depending on the computer's processor and whatsoever, but it will open. So if you give it time, you'll find that Visual Studio Code will open. It will open the student's file. And since we've not coded anything, the Visual Studio Code will open. However, it will be empty just for you to start your code. This is normally for beginners, people who are going to maybe start the Python code, and even for those who are experts who are creating a new kind of program. As you can see, student.py is opening under our Visual Studio Code. Thanks for everything. In case of anything, you can always follow me up by subscribing, hitting the bell, not to miss out on anything. For now, I'm called Isaac, and thanks for listening and for watching.